that was abrupt. We came right into it, didn't we? I love that countdown. But I love that music. That music slaps, baby. I feel good about it. I like that music. So much better than the music I had over at the Blaze. How's everybody doing? Good afternoon, Monday afternoon. Hope everybody was able to rest up over the weekend. Hope you guys got, did some fun stuff. We did some fun stuff. We were in Conroe, Texas. We did some music over there. Then we had a great show up in Arlington, Texas at the Arlington Music Hall. We're getting ready to head out this week. We're going to go over to Jefferson, Louisiana, which is just north of New Orleans. So right there in the area. So anyway, get your tickets. Come on. It's Easter weekend. We'll have some fun, have some laughs before you go repent in church on Sunday morning. And we're going to be in Hattiesburg Saturday night. We've been twisting some arms for Kendra and Todd and Megan, all them to come down there to that thing. Make the drive. Come on. So we're going to have a fun weekend. But then we'll be back Sunday. We'll be back early Sunday. Hope you guys are in the chat and you're checking it out. Another Trump assassin? We don't know. We need to talk about that today. We will. We'll talk about that. We're going to make fun of the all-female people that went into, whatever. I don't know what gender is anymore. But the all-female, quote, crew that went into space. We'll make fun of that. And then we'll talk a little bit about Bernie Sanders at Coachella. Lots of things to get into, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to see you guys blow that chat up. Put those American flags in there. Throw them in there. And I also want to remind you guys to encourage one another. I posted my prayer this morning on Facebook. I don't do it every day, but I do it a lot. I put them out there most days, first thing in the morning. And I was just like, people need to be encouraged. And you know what? You need to be the vessel that encourages people. Like, one, you need to learn how to encourage yourself, but you need to build people around you, have people around you that encourage you. If people are tearing you down, breaking you down, you don't need that in your life. You don't need that stuff. You know what? You can, even if you make amends with people that you've, parted ways with or, whatever, if you got a rift between people, you can come back and say, listen, let's clear the air and, blow the smoke off and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to insert those people back into your lives. You can just say, you know what? I'm going to build positive things around me. I'm at a place in life where I just want to, if it's not fun, I don't want to go do it. If it's not positive, I don't want to be a part of it. And just like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, you know what? I don't have to deal with the craziness that's out there in the world. And it is crazy, folks. So you need to make sure that you, one, know how to encourage yourself. You need to find people that will encourage you. And you need to be that contagious vessel that encourages other people. Say something good to somebody today. You know what I'm saying? Say something good to some people. Encourage. Use those love words. Use those good things. I think it's contagious. I think those are communicable traits, You smile at somebody, they usually smile back. That's a communicable trait. Joy and happiness are communicable traits. There's a whole lot of things, man, that when you give, your generosity can be something that other people catch, right? A lot of these things I'm telling you, you guys, I just try to tell you that life's going to be okay. Some of you are deep in worry and anxiety. Tomorrow's tax day, whatever that even means anymore. Our government's so wild with fraud, waste, and spending, it's nuts. And they want my little piece of the pie, that you work hard to get. And some of you got anxiety over that. Some of you are stressing over finances. You're stressing over relationships. You're stressing over kids that are off in rebellion or doing their own thing. And you really wish that they would think and see a little more clearly. Just pray about those things. But relax. But learn to encourage yourself. Learn to encourage yourself. That's what the King David said. He reminded us that you got to encourage yourself in the Lord. That's the key, in the Lord. I believe that. God wants you to be encouraged, man. The prospects of the future are as bright as the promises of God, folks. Hold on to that with everything you've got, all right? Because you're not promised tomorrow. You know what worry is? Worry is an anticipation of something that might happen in the future. You're not promised the future. You say, well, that's pretty bleak. No. What you got to learn to do is let the future take care of itself. Jesus literally told his disciples that. He said, tomorrow's got enough cares of its own. You need to focus on right now. You need to focus on right now. Because right now is the only time you have. And I want to encourage you to do that. Do it. But I will tell you that while you're focusing on right now, that you still need to prepare for the future. Just don't worry about it. You need to prepare for the future. And after you've done that, you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress over it. And one of the ways you can do that is talking to my friends over at Birch Gold. How do you like that for a segue? Text Chad, C-H-A-D, spell it Chad to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free no-obligation information kit. when you do that. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and a 5-star review from thousands of people. I trust them. You can trust them. They're good friends. I mean, you got tariff wars and recession fear, stubborn inflation going on there. This is why gold has hit all-time highs. I did some gold trading the other day. It's an interesting time to watch this happen. And we got some volatile markets right now, but gold keeps moving higher and higher, and it's always going to be steady. So people are turning to Birch Gold that can help you convert your savings or your retirement, like, say, an existing IRA or 401k, into an IRA that's backed by physical gold. So you can do that. Untangle the mess of an uncertain future by securing yourself financially with gold. Birch Gold. Text Chad to 989898. Some of you are sitting on the fence. I want you to get out there and do it. Text Chad to 989898. All right, I've got a couple of little surprises for you guys. First of all, look at just Party Foul Steve's here. He's got him a new studio. Look at this thing. Look at him. Come on, Steve. Look at you. Does it work? Does it make sound? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you muted, buddy. Turn yourself up. Let's get through these growing pains, right?
Anything?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. No, I've still got some static issues, and I have some camera focusing issues. But
yeah, well, you built out a nice little studio. That little box right there, don't touch it again.
I'm staying away from it.
That little box that has your microphone cord running into it, when you moved it, the static, but it's coming out of that box. We'll have to play with it. We've been messing with it for an hour.
It's a brand new box. Straight out of the factory. That pisses me off.
Well, it's not a problem with the box. It's just how the wires are run.
But maybe so. But I do have to thank everybody that did Venmo me to make it where I could get the equipment. So, yeah. Including Chad's donations, which was good as well. So now I can do this from home. Sometimes. You'll miss me too much. Yeah. No, I didn't want to. I was going to do it there at your house today, and I got there and I left the laptop.
Yeah, you forgot your computer.
Yeah, it happens.
It's interesting. I'm trying just from a distance to hear what that noise is. I hear it while I'm talking. It's like it comes up. I'm curious to know, in the chat, can you guys hear that static?
I'm not hearing any static in my ear.
Yeah, so they may not be hearing anything. They may not be hearing anything.
It might be your head just has static in it.
It could be. You know, there's a lot of white noise up there. So Kendra says no static. I'm going to trust Kendra. She's the only opinion that matters. Linda says no static, so that's good. Some people, Striker J, here's a little static. So who knows?
Maybe it depends what you're listening on or listening with, too. So,
yeah. I hear it whenever I talk. So anyway, we'll play with it. That's I can't come in the other room and fix it, Steve, because you're 20 minutes from me.
Nope. Can't do it.
You're down the road. You know who we should get on here? And he was like, I don't know if I want to come on today. And I was like, we're going to give a little peer pressure. We're going to give to producer David Medina. He's in the house. What's up? There he is.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up, buddy?
Man. Man, I'll tell you, whenever you ask me for something, Chad, I'm always going to say yes because I love you, buddy.
And I love you too.
And there's a lot of conservative. I've worked with a lot of conservative people here in this space, and I love all of them. I've worked with Benny. I've worked with, Officer Tatum, David Harris Jr. But there's just something about you, Chad. I just like when you tell me to jump, I say how high. And every time you ask me to do something, I don't know. No, it's because you're a good guy. You're a really. I mean, those guys are great guys, but you gotta. I think I see myself in you, as in we've been through a lot of stuff. But you're a good guy, man. I appreciate.
I appreciate that, dude. I really do. So people saying it's louder when I talk, so that's interesting. But no, David, I appreciate you, man. You're a godsend. It's funny. God puts people in your life, like I was saying a little while ago. God puts people in your life, whether it's a Graham Allen or a Royce or or you or Party Foul Steve and all these guys that Todd and Tony and all these different guys. I mean, it's really, really cool how these people come along, and they're good people, man. And there's no way that you would know these people unless God just sort of orchestrated that. So
absolutely.
So they hear it when I talk.
I was going to say, Steve, don't feel bad, by the way, with the technology thing. Every time I go over to my dad's house, he still asks me to fix his Blu-ray. So don't feel bad, man. We all have problems with technology.
That's funny.
We're going to get it straightened out. This will be great.
Yeah. Shake everything around here.
I think it's on Chad's end anyway. So.
Well, it's never been on my end. The only thing new about this scenario is you and your setup.
Yeah, it is.
So that's interesting.
But I do have to thank David because he got on here an hour before you got on here and was helping me get lights adjusted and stuff like that. And we might have some fine tuning to do, but it's coming along nicely.
Yeah. Well, check. I don't know. There it is. We're going to muscle through this dadgum thing. We're going to muscle through it. There's people having a whole lot harder time than we are right now. So apparently, the girls got back. The girls got back from space. Now, this is an interesting story because you have this all-female, quote, crew. They were basically passengers, okay? So you had, like, Gail King. Gail King must have heard that Oprah was on Mars, and she was trying to get to her. Amanda Wynn, Aisha Bowe, whatever, and Carrie Ann Flynn, Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez. That's Jeff Bezos' sugar baby, right? His little arm.
One of them is
arm candy. So this was and so, I heard that they were in space for 11 minutes. They went out into the outer limits, and they landed back. Hit the ground pretty hard, if you ask me, coming down. But they went up there in that big encapsulated penis phallic-looking rocket thing, and it was I believe that joke alone, that it was an all-female crew. Gail King was talking about girl power and how it was, uplifting for femininity or whatever it was. I don't know. These people that normally can't define what a woman is, apparently it's all about girls. Now, just to be clear, there was a man that funded that. There was a man that built that and engineered that. There was a man that actually ran the crew. They just rode.
I was going to say, I have a problem with the word crew because you don't jump on a roller coaster and take a ride on a roller coaster and call yourself a crew. Yeah. This is just an amusement park ride. It's just big time. Little goes a little higher than the rest.
Yeah, and then again, they got on a rocket that Bezos's rockets look like a penis. I'm not trying to be crude here, but I'm like,
can you build a rocket any other shape?
No, his looks like a legit one though,
because it has the swollen.
Yeah, you don't have to get descriptive on that. Everybody's seen that thing. You got the audio of them coming down there screaming, and turn the audio up on that.
And you will see a puff of smoke when it touches down. A puff of dust.
Actually, yes,
that's normal.
A puff of dust, last milliseconds. Air cushion that will kick up the dust. It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is.
You hear all that screaming?
Yeah, it sounds like my sisters when I was growing up every day.
I'm telling you. I mean, I don't know if they were in there having a pillow fight or what, but they were screaming coming down. You could hear the audio in that whole thing. I would have jumped out.
Yeah, when they were falling before the parachutes deployed, they were screaming.
To call them a crew, and I'm just looking at this picture, and it makes me so mad inside in so many ways. It is so disrespectful to actual astronauts. This is,
AI generated.
Yeah, I mean, like what? You know what they're trying to do here? They're trying to one up Elon and all the stuff that he's doing. Elon's actually doing stuff for us. He's actually, he's got Starlink, Chad, that you used a month ago out in the middle of nowhere. You were able to get internet. We were able to still do the show.
Yeah.
And they're trying to one up Elon, but and these guys, Blue Origin and Jeff Bezos, they're sending celebrity women out into space. I mean,
which is silly to me when there's actual crew that could have done this. These girls go up, and this is what crazy stories are made out of, right? But they talk about scientific research and stuff with Blue Origin. They were there 11 minutes. There was no science. They're not scientists, first of all.
This is total amusement. You could go up in one for $250,000, $300,000.
Yeah, people do that.
Origin, that's the cost of it. Some of the other ones, even SpaceX, if you pay enough, you can take a ride.
And my fat butt will not be. Trust me. I mean, everybody, Todd and all them were talking about how they'd go up in space. Would you do it, David?
No, I don't like heights. I don't even like flying. You should have seen me. If you would have saw me flying this weekend to San Diego, Chad, if we ever go on a plane together, you're going to have a good time because, you'll probably want to go live because I'm sitting there white knuckled. I think I've watched too many Final Destination movies because I just think of like, what is it going to feel like if this thing goes down or if we get clipped? And with all the news of all these planes going down across America, those things just go through my head. And I'm like, as we're taking, I don't like flying. I don't like heights. So no, hell no, I would not do this.
I wouldn't do it.
What goes through my head, the thought of like a plane crashing or something. I'm always flying with Chad, and it's going to, in the headlines are going to be Chad Prather and friend.
Party Foul Steve always said he doesn't want to be and others.
Yeah, and others.
I was on the plane one time flying out of Phoenix to Atlanta, Georgia, with David Lee Roth from Van Halen, and I had that exact thought. I was like, I'll just be in the and others, say David Lee Roth. But I mean, basically, this is a tourism flight for rich and fancy people, and this is not a mission of girl empowerment or anything else. It's a photo op. It's a photo op. Let's call it what it is.
Felt differently.
What's that, David?
Katy Perry felt differently. She thought she said the whole girl power thing, the feminine thing.
I wonder if they made them show their passports when they got out.
Real ID.
Earth came back. Yeah, real ID.
That's funny. They could have come back aliens, so we needed that ID.
I think they are at this point.
But to use the word mission, that's strong. That was not a mission. That was a tourist flight. And again, these things matter. I know people look at it and go, who cares? I'll tell you why it matters, because when you start controlling language, you control culture and society. And tossing words around like that is not okay. It's just not. So
I don't even they were calling them astronauts. I'm not sure that's considered an astronaut. I don't know the true definition. I don't want to speak out of
it. Just all this mission, calling them astronauts, calling it a mission. I mean, it just dilutes actual missions and actual astronauts who have worked their lives to get where they're at and risk their lives. Like those 2 stranded astronauts that we saw last month get rescued. It just dilutes all those guys' jobs, man. So that's a good point, Chad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there thinking, this looks superficial. It looks ridiculous. You mentioned AI. Who knows what all was involved with this kind of deal? But when you do this is not empowering women. It's actually not, because the left, and I throw celebrities in with the left, they don't empower women. They just don't empower women. We've seen that. I mean, you got people that are, they get up there and make their little speeches about everything's about trans people and visibility and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you guys have never cared about empowering women. You don't want to define a woman. You sit there and say, you went to the women's march there, David, and you were like, so basically this is a people's march, because you guys can't even define what a woman is.
Yeah, we're people for now. I mean, for now, we're people until they start calling us something else. I mean, who knows, man? Who knows what the next red line is? I mean, everything, it was like, back in the 2000s, it was like, who you can marry. And it's like, and then it went from who you can marry to, what was the next cause before trans? And then it went to trans. And then now it's like, is it pedophilia? Are they going to start pushing pedophilia? Yeah.
Minor attracted persons, stuff like that.
I can't believe they didn't have a trans woman go up there.
Well, Gayle King.
They had all shades of the colors.
It's a good point, Steve.
But not a single trans woman.
That's a great point. Or maybe one of them was. We just don't know.
You never know.
Gayle King.
Maybe Gayle.
Maybe.
I don't know. Katy Perry gave the little interview. Do we have that little thing? I know everybody's waiting with bated breath to hear what Katy Perry had to say about going up into space. Play this clip.
It is the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown, trust, and this whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team,
Sweet
it's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the, different tools that I've learned in my life, from meditation to the Hoffman process. This is up there because what you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey. And then you're feeling the love when you come down, for sure. And you're feeling that strength. So I feel really connected to that strong, divine feminine right now.
By the way, you're such a badass. I love that the month of April, you're like, I'm going to.
So much ass kissing.
All that training, to hook up a 5-point harness?
I mean, this is, she put on her seatbelt.
Yeah.
And looked out the window and then smiled for the cameras. So much training. And then it's like you went up there and experienced a minute or two of weightlessness, and you came back and you said you felt a strong connection with the feminine divine. She literally said that. So basically, she met the woman God. Now you can't define God here on Earth, but apparently you felt the female God up in space. I got it. Now I just want to remind you guys that this is a person who became famous by singing a song called "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It." All right.
Yeah, we have, I'm over here crying, laughing. I needed this today, Chad. We had this discussion before the show. It was like, man, it's just one of those days where we just are like, we just don't want to do it. And you guys probably out there, the chat, you guys have those days. I needed this laugh because Katy Perry, I mean, can you imagine the conversations overseas while people in other countries are starving? I mean, even in our own communities are starving. It's like, what's America up to? And they put this video up there of Katy Perry with this amazing achievement and accomplishment. And she's talking about training and we are literally not a serious culture.
No,
we're not a serious culture. Like what
these people,
we have Katy Perry
forever.
giving interviews.
So this book, that this book that I wrote a few years ago and released is the best part of this book is the introduction that I wrote. And in this book, Am I Crazy? I said that social media has given people two things that are a fallacy. One, it gives people a sense of celebrity. Everybody thinks they can be famous and be heard, and everybody's got a platform. And then it gives people a sense of authority. Just because people do follow you or listen to you, that you somehow are knowledgeable or an expert or you are an authority on that. Both of those things get me further from the truth, because I don't believe people are designed to be famous. I just don't think they are. I have people who will send me a message. Like the other day, somebody sent me a message and said, "Oh my gosh, was that you in the Denver airport? Party Foul Steve and I had a layover," and they were like, "We wanted to come up and say hi, but we didn't want to." I'm like, always come up and say hi. Always come up and say hi. I don't separate myself is somebody's being like, "Oh, I'm unapproachable," or fame is an illusion, man. And so these people who think that they have a platform and therefore have some kind of authority, it's garbage. It's an insult to real people. It really is. But it's to say, we felt the divine feminine and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, stop.
Why don't you go feed the homeless and go to these cities where kids are starving and actually go do something that will help this country? Yeah. You were just a passenger on a capsule and went up to you literally just went on a roller coaster ride and you did absolutely nothing for the country. You did. Why is she acting all stoic in the interview? I don't it's like, it just makes me laugh, dude.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a fully automated thing. Do they push any buttons?
You've seen women drive, bro. No.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking, because I really didn't know a whole lot about it till this morning that it was even happening.
So let me tell you what CJ says to me the other day, David. CJ says to me the other day, she goes, "I want a Tesla truck." And I said, "CJ, your phone never gets above 5%. Like, your phone literally lives on 3% battery life." I said, she goes, "You got to plug them in and charge them?" And I go, "That is the whole freaking point of a Tesla. Yes, you got to charge it all night. It goes about 255 miles, and then you got to charge that sucker again somewhere." And she's like, "Oh, well, never mind. I've never plugged it in." And I'm like, yeah. And I've seen, it's like, Yeah. Now, Megan Moose says it's all a simulation. It's an interesting concept. I don't know. But they
needed to have Maggie Moo up there on that capsule. It would have probably been, more interesting, honestly.
I mean, good Lord. She'd be up there with her Kit Kats and her spicy candies and all that kind of stuff. So let me tell you about my friends over at AlliedOilfield.com. Go over there and check them out. They are industry leaders over in West Texas. Oilfield, drill, baby, drill, trucking. These guys know how to build the big equipment. They've been doing it for over 20 years, and they are a leader, folks. And I want you to go check them out and see all about it. Educate yourself a little bit in that oil field industry, and who knows, if you might be some of you guys out there that, unlike the space crew that just got back, some actual engineers that listen to this show, and some folks out there that are actually making the economy work in the oil field and trucking industry, you go over to AlliedOilfield.com and check out the equipment and the trucks and all the stuff they got, man. They got some really cool stuff. And if you got something that you need built, I bet you they can build it. So from concept and design all the way to the finished product, check them out, AlliedOilfield.com. Steve, are you drinking Make Wellness? You make Wellness?
Yeah, that's what this.
I got two of them, buddy. I got the Energized and the Hydrate. I need some water.
Energized right there. Mm-hmm. That's what I got today. I'm not the Energized. It works, but they got to work on that. I don't know if it's just a flavor that I have. I'm not a huge fan of the flavor.
Of the Energized?
Of whatever I'm drinking. It's the blue one.
The blue one. I don't mind it. I mean, there's nothing that beats the tropical.
Yeah.
But there's no peptides in this. The peptides are in the Energized.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who get it, and it's like it takes you about 10 days to get those peptides in you and really start working. They make an incredible difference in my mind. People are like, you're just selling multi-level marketing. No, you can buy the product without joining a business. It's amazing. I mean, like some people do it as a business, but you can.
I've just tried to encourage anybody that I know a lot of people over the years that have sold everything from makeup to, jewelry and stuff like that. I said if you'll do that, you could do this. It's easy. Join the team. But I'm not like. Or buy the product, try it out first.
It's good stuff. It literally changed my mindset. It really did. It helped me feel really good mentally, and I'm not going to ever be without it. So somebody said, "Where's Willie?" He's laying down right there. A giant beast of a dog. He's hanging out, but you got to stick with it. Stuff. You got to stick with the stuff. Keep taking it. Trump. Caitlin Collins. I don't know why she shows up to work, man. I mean, they just smoke her every time she comes around. So they just took turns ripping CNN's Caitlin Collins after she asked why an alleged MS-13 member was deported to El Salvador. Play this clip real quick.
Return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported. The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane. So will you return him?
Now, that's the El Salvadoran president, right?
Wait a minute. Can you just also respond to that question? Because, it's asked by CNN, and they always ask it with a slant, because they're totally slanted because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As two immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised with the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order
literally fact-checking her live,
and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for
That's so stupid. He had to explain it like you would explain it to a first grader, and they still don't get it.
Well, no, they get it. They get it. Trust me, Steve, they get it. CNN gets it. And you have to understand, CNN is their job is not to report the news anymore. We all know that. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, why are these guys? Can you imagine the country we would have if our media did their job, if CNN wasn't more worried about an illegal MS-13 gang member and they were actually worried about the problems, the real problems our country is facing? Yeah. You have Caitlin Collins in here asking about, like, that's at the top of her mind. I mean, this is bottom of the barrel people. I mean, Caitlin Collins is disgusting.
Yeah, and they're obviously there for the clicks and they're for the watches and the views and all that kind of stuff because people are. And she's willing to put herself out there. You know, I've never understood how these people ask such dumb questions. But I'm telling you, if I'm in a room and Stephen Miller opens his mouth to respond to me, I'm I'm like, okay, this is not going to go well because that dude, I think, is one of the smartest cats in D.C. right now. When he speaks, he brings the facts, dude. And Caitlin Collins, they just, I mean, I'm like, you can't be this stupid.
Just fact checked her live. That was awesome.
I think Marco Rubio responded to it too.
Everybody did. They eviscerated her, dude.
His was very elegantly put.
Eloquent.
Sounds like Steve wants to play that clip. Chad, should we play it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the best one.
All right, let's see it.
The ruling solely stated.
Steven's still going off. Here it is.
This individual is a citizen of El Salvador. He was illegally in the United States and was returned to his country. That's where you deport people, back to their country of origin. Except for Venezuela, that wasn't refusing to take people back, or places like that. I can tell you this, Mr. President. No, the foreign policy of the United States is conducted by the President of the United States, not by a court. And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple.
Boom.
End of story.
I've been pleasantly surprised with Marco Rubio. Let me just
too.
tell you, I haven't been a big fan of him over the last few years, but he has been one of my favorite of Trump's picks in his cabinet. Man, I've been loving him.
He's been solid, dude. I wasn't a big fan, like you said, when he was a senator from Florida. I wasn't a big fan of that. But when I was there and we met with him a few weeks ago, he said that, I have 3 priorities as Secretary of State. Does it make us safer, stronger, and more prosperous? That, he said, everything we do here, everything in this administration is going to be, does it make us safer, stronger, and more prosperous? And getting rid of MS-13 murderous, raping gang members back to their country of origin, I would say makes us a lot safer.
And I think him having Donald Trump as a leader helps him go, balls out, and because he's got somebody that's going to back him up.
Yeah. Well, it emboldens them. I hope it does. Let's talk about our friends over at American Finance. We got American Finance today, don't we? Look at my little shirt. I'm doing that show. We're doing that God Family Country show over May 3rd in Mount Pleasant, Texas. Look at that thing right there. They sent me the shirt.
Nice shirt.
It's a cool shirt, bro. And it's got all our names on the back. Whose name's at the top? Mine. Lara Logan. It'll be a good time. Good time. But anyway, May 3rd. Out in the country, baby. East
How do I
Texas.
get one, Chad?
I'll send you one. I don't know. I don't have them. They send it to me. I'll get you one, though. I'll get you one, big dog. American Finances, man, they're helping a lot of people. A lot of people are living off of credit cards, and they got some high debt. They got some high interest rate and all that kind of stuff that's going on. And you're just trying to cover the gaps right now. And credit card debt is skyrocketing, leaving a lot of people just in a pickle, man, just really in stress. And so if you're a homeowner, you don't have to face this alone. Our friends over at American Financing can help you take control by helping you access the equity in your home to help you pay down that high-interest credit card debt and give you peace of mind and real savings. On average, people just like you are saving about $800 a month. Plus, they can close your loan in as little as 10 days. So don't let the chaos of the economy get the best of you. Call American Finance. Call them on the phone and talk to them. It's important. It doesn't cost you anything to get started. They'll tell you what you need to know. Might even delay your 2 mortgage payments, which will give you even more cushion in these uncertain times. So call them at 888-675-4090, 888-675-4090. You can visit them at americanfinancing.net/Chad. Get them on the phone. Get them on the phone. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Yeah. Got that radio voice, everybody. Yeah.
You do such a good Hodge Twins impression.
Yeah. Got a damn good show for you. So Coachella, I never know when these things are going on. Like, I never know when Burning Man is going on, or South by Southwest, or Coachella. I don't really even know what those things are. I guess it's where people get together and listen to music and give each other herpes or something. 60% of Coachella attendees financed their tickets to attend the festival, according to Billboard. That's what you need for a 3-day concert ticket. And look at these girls. They're going in there with the best intentions.
I feel like I'm like catching an STD just watching this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there goes the gonorrhea right there.
Did that girl had a baby? Hold up. What?
She did. She had a child strapped to her chest.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That's the kind of girl that has, like, 6 baby daddies and is getting like $400K a month in child support.
She's using babies as an accessory.
90% of those probably have OnlyFans too.
Oh yeah, they got wiki feet and everything else. Look at this coming in.
Have you ever been to Coachella, Chad?
No, I don't go to stuff. I don't ever go to stuff. I don't like, and I definitely ain't going to that chlamydia convention.
No, I mean, if your kid is going to this, you have failed as a parent. I'm just telling you right now. If your kid is going to Coachella,
it's like a 3-day festival, right?
There was videos coming out of this of so they have showers there.
Yeah.
They have showers at Coachella, these mobile showers, and the smell was so bad of these people waiting in line. You saw everybody waiting in line like this to go take a shower.
No.
I'm like, what? I mean, I don't get it. Like, why would you want to spend your weekend around that? And oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm too old.
Even here in Texas, there's country music fests like every weekend from now till through the summer. And it's kind of the same. It's the same deal on a way smaller level, but we've been to those.
We've been to a few of those different things. Like, look at that. Bam. Kablooski. He just broke his neck. Do you know how humiliating that is when you're in the middle of singing a song and you just fell on your head? So, I mean, that looks like a Japanese. Look at it. Kablooski. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? The show must go on. Yeah, with a cracked vertebra.
That's insane.
Yeah, so these are the tents that are right here. I actually have a tent like that. But I ain't doing it with 30,000 other people in the field.
You guys ever heard of Fire Festival? It's kind of giving me Fire Festival vibes.
Yeah, where those people got ripped off because of it, right?
Oh my gosh!
That
if
guy
you guys
went to prison.
chat, if you haven't seen the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix, you need to go see it. It is.
It's a good one. It's kind of the ultimate con.
Yeah. But I mean, we do that. We've gone to Rednecks with Paychecks. My buddy owns that, and Larry Joe Taylor Festival. I don't go to those things anymore. I'm too old for this stuff, man. I don't. I'm too. And you know what? Trouble seems to find people when you go to things like that. Yeah. I don't know how that is, but just trouble finds people. You get that many people around. Like, I'm not going to Mardi Gras. I'm not going to, especially some place where people are wearing masks. No, people are too emboldened wearing a stupid mask, man. Yeah, I'd love to hear you guys in the chat, yes or no, if you'd be going to Coachella. And listen, you're not too old to go. I said that Bernie Sanders was there. So if Bernie Sanders can do it, then he just performed, they said.
Weekend at Bernie's.
So they trotted Bernie Sanders, and they try to sell it. God doesn't own a hairbrush, man. He's got 3 homes and a beach house, but he can't brush his hair. And this is always fascinating to me.
Let me just say something about this guy right here. Everybody, they're excited about him on the Democrat side because they're saying if he runs with AOC in 2028, the Republicans are done. This guy, I want you to just share this with your friends, okay, chat? Share this with your friends. This guy would be worse than Obama for America. He would be worse than Obama. The policies that he believes in and the socialist foundation that he is built on would absolutely destroy our country. Not to mention that, but the Democrat Party, his own party that has screwed him over in the primary versus Hillary Clinton in 2015. And he just keeps bending over for them left and right. He's a sellout. He's a terrible person. He believes in completely dismantling the Constitution, and he wants to give out free health care. He would be worse than Obama for America. This guy is a fraud, and he allows his own party to cheat. He knows his own, and the people that know that they're being cheated and still go along with it for their best interest, you can't trust these people. He is the worst of the worst. I know he's fun to watch. I know he's charismatic and he's doing all this. I don't know why I did the Trump hands, but he's the biggest fraud in DC. The biggest fraud. He is not an outsider. He's not one of us. He is a fraud. Bernie Sanders is a fraud.
He is. He's a communist. He honeymooned in Russia, for crying out loud. The guy is an avowed communist, and not only that, you remember the DNC? And you're right. I don't know why he keeps getting raked over the coals by these guys, and he keeps on coming back, just trying to stay relevant. I mean, he's been saying the same garbage for the last 30 years of his career, and it's literally on record him saying all these little, it's going to be the end of democracy, the end of democracy as we know it. Oh, bro, you've been saying that for 35 years. But the DNC, the Democrats and liberals have always said we're tired of old white men. They had Joe Biden, and now they're going to trot this guy out as the presumptive 2028 nominee. You guys do not believe what you say. You peddle a bunch of bull crap. You do not. You are going to put that old white man in there as much as you can, and Bernie is an establishment trash. And he's not dynamic, not at all. But he's and I made a post on X earlier about him being there at Coachella, and somebody said we were there, and a lot of people left when he came out on stage. So,
well, you say he's establishment. He's worse than establishment. He is a guy that positions himself for the people as an outsider, but is still in bed at the same time with the establishment that has cheated. That same establishment has cheated him out of a primary and has cheated him out of many other races, and he continues to lay in bed with them. That is worse than establishment. Yeah. He is the biggest rat. I can't stand Bernie Sanders.
And I can't
want to know how I feel about it.
And if you go back when Donna Brazile was the head of the DNC, she said the worst conversation was when she had to go and talk to Bernie and say we're basically giving we're going to give it to Hillary. And then with all the stuff that went down, Donna Brazile said she was afraid to even walk past the windows in her house, basically as a threat of assassination. Like she was afraid because of the Hillary deal. And I'm like, and yet you're going to keep rolling over for these people. But can you imagine a debate between Bernie Sanders and J.D. Vance? J.D. would obliterate him.
Destroyed. I mean, but he's not even in the top 5 of the front runners for the Democrats, is he?
You say that, but yes, he is. I mean,
really?
we already know Gavin Newsom's positioning himself for that. AOC is positioning herself. Kamala Harris will make a peak. I mean, she's not going to be serious about that.
I'm still saying Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro will be a candidate, but again, Josh Shapiro, they're not. I don't think they would ever allow Josh Shapiro to be the guy
because he's a Jew. Well,
he's Jewish, but also they probably feel just like with Joe Biden that it's Bernie's turn. Okay, see, that's the way they play this game: is whose turn is it?
That's stupid.
When you had 23, your turn. When you had 23, like it was Hillary's turn. That's why they went to Bernie and said no. And then when you had 23 Democrat primary candidates in 2020. And Kamala was the first one out, and then Cory Booker and Fartswell, and all these people. And I said it from the very beginning. I said, it's going to be Joe Biden because it's his turn. It's just his turn.
Yep.
And he's, you've been on the board at the country club for so long, now it's to make you chairman of the board. We're going to do it. And again, you got to remind yourself that none of these people are truly in charge. That's one of the reasons they hate Trump, because Trump actually comes out there and does some things that is bucks the establishment. And that's why I get so sick of everybody talking about, well, Trump's bought out and Trump's saying, oh, well, shit, just stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that every day, actually, about Trump, but he always does something that I'm like, okay, if the guy was pulled out, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't be fighting the tariff war right now for us. He wouldn't be. I would like to see more, like, we need to know more about the stuff that, I was just thinking of this last night, the last 4 years under Trump. Look at everything that we went through. Look at all the people that they prosecuted. Look at everybody they tried to throw in prison. They tried to throw Trump in prison. Trump was shot. We still don't know about everything about the assassin from Butler. There's just so many things that I want to know about. I want to know the answers to. And a lot of people are saying just because we don't know those answers, Trump was sold out or he sold the soul. I think it just takes time. I think he's looking out for the middle class first, trying to get America. He said success was his retribution. He's trying to get that going first, and then I think we're going to see a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
A couple years.
Do we have a clip of the speech? I've watched Bernie shake these same hands 5,000 times now. That's good for views. But play. What did he say there in Coachella?
Oh, gosh. Here we go.
This country faces some very difficult challenges.
Uh-huh.
And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. Now, you can turn away and you can ignore what goes on, but if you do that, you do it at your own peril. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
Doom and gloom, baby.
To fight for economic justice, social justice, and racial justice. Now we got a president of the United States.
Here we go.
All of our colleges told us to boo when we heard Trump.
He thinks that climate change is a hoax.
It is.
He is dangerously wrong. And
There'll be enough wood to build a coffin for you, Bernie.
You and I are going to have to stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them to stop destroying this planet.
Like the private jet that I just rode in on Coachella.
Exactly.
Yeah, these guys. I mean, he is the biggest fraud. You know why Bernie Sanders loves the climate agenda, the climate hoax agenda so much? It's because it ties in with his socialism and his socialist policies and his socialist beliefs. Because if you guys look at a lot of these climate change policies, I mean, they are, at the end of the day, high taxes. It would make unrealistic expectations for corporations and for the same trucks that deliver our groceries. It would be a disaster. And I believe, that's just my conspiracy, is that I believe that Bernie Sanders talks about the climate change because it ties in with the policies that he wants to usher in if he ever became president, which we hope never would happen, because that would be a really bad time for America.
It would be.
Egg prices are high now. You wait till Bernie Sanders becomes president.
And you're going to talk about standing up to the establishment and economic equality and all that stuff. You're literally talking to a crowd of people, 60% of which just financed their tickets to the concert.
Yeah.
I mean, really? I don't think so. You live in mom's basement. I mean, you were texting your dad to Venmo you cash, right? Like that's what you needed. So, and I'm so sick of all this social justice
I feel like
crap.
we have a president now that stands up to the establishment. All of them.
Well, I mean,
I
go back to the UFC fight this weekend, right? There's Trump, and Shaquille O'Neal's hugging on Trump. All these black fighters hugging on Trump, wanting pictures with Trump. Like, where's the racism? I'm still trying to figure it out. Like,
I've known one or two racists in my life, and they're not going to hug a black man.
Yeah, I want to give your chat some encouragement real quick, because when you see clips like that of Bernie Sanders or someone talking to a bunch of college kids, a bunch of younger kids, and you hear the boos, I promise you there are just as many, if not more, Trump-supporting college kids in that crowd. Because you know why? Because I go to these college campuses. I talk to them. I go to Portland State every month.
Yeah.
Talk to college students. I just talked to some in San Diego today. You guys are going to see clips of that up on my socials pretty soon here, of college girls that were like, no, we went to college, but we make America great again. We love Trump. We love what he's doing with the country. There are so many. The difference is that the left teaches their students that push this agenda, this anti-Trump agenda. They teach them to be louder, and the people that on the right, we usually have parents, conservative parents, Christian parents, that teach us, not to be like that, not to act like rabid animals, not to, so a lot of these kids don't know they really don't know what they're talking about. I can't tell you how many college kids I've talked to where I've been able to change their mind in one conversation just by asking questions. Where they're like, well, I didn't hear about that. They're so ignorant. It's sad.
Yeah, it's true. And you could show them and they still wouldn't believe it. Officer Tatum, Brandon's got that video out right now where that black girl, beautiful girl, comes walking up and to the microphone, and she's like, can you tell me, she goes, can I ask you a question? When was America great for black people? And he goes, right now. Like right now. He said, look at you. You're well fed, you're getting an education, you got beautiful hair, you got your bag on, this pretty expensive accessory there. I mean, look at you. You look like you're doing okay for yourself. And he starts he's like, got your makeup on, got your eyes done, the whole thing. And it's like, right now, you're pretty great spot. So there's a lot of young people for Trump, man. There's a lot of young people for Trump. They're out there.
Yeah.
So what do you think, David, on this Real ID thing? We haven't talked about this Real ID. Like, if you live in the state of Texas, you get a driver's license, they already do the Real ID. Got the little gold star up in the corner of the thing. Do they have that in Oregon yet?
Yeah, they're starting that here in May. In May, we're going to have to get a Real ID. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm the kind of I'm libertarian in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Obviously not in every way. Otherwise, I would just be an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Libertarians out there, just don't blow up my email. But with anytime they implement something that requires more, more surveillance or more protection for our safety, my ears perk up. I don't know. You go to the airport now and you have to take a photo, and it's like they have facial recognition and everything. I don't agree with that, man. It's just the more control the government has, it's never turns out well for us. Yeah. We saw that during COVID in 2020. So
COVID was in the Patriot Act, all of that stuff after 9/11, and you see their real intentions of being able to control your movement. If you guys have a short-term memory, you remember when people were like out in the street or up on the top of a roof or whatever, smoking a cigarette or hanging out with their buddies, and they were sending the drones over and telling people to get indoors. That's your government, and so the overreach. I don't like overreach. This is why people. They try to crucify me on all this stuff when I said, I just don't like government telling you what to do. I still believe that people are like, you can't use your WIC to buy soda. Well, you can. I'm not. It's not going out and buying drugs. People got mad at me for posting that article. I'm like, how much government overreach do you want? Now, I don't have to approve of your lifestyle or the choices you make, but how much government overreach do you really want? So this Real ID thing. It's something that historically in other countries and other places and other regimes and other places has not ended up so well, like the communist Russia and Nazi Germany. With national ID, there's certain things where this kind of led to a dangerous and slippery slope. So I'm not a fan of more ID. Why are you, and it's not, I just don't feel like it's going to get to a place where that's how they're going to institute voter ID. They could do that right now. I think if I've got a driver's license, I got a passport, I think you can figure out who I am. You got enough facial recognition. You know who I am. Yeah. They scanned our face the other day in the airport. Where were we, Steve? Flying out of. Where at?
Denver.
In Denver?
Yeah.
So, they do the whole thing, and they know who you are. But I'm like, to have to go through one more step. I still don't have the TSA pre-check, and I did that 40 days ago, and I still hadn't heard back from them. So the government's supposed to monitor me. Let's monitor the people that are here illegally. Let's deal with that.
Yeah.
Instead of
they're letting them go by TSA without any ID at all, Chad. Remember we saw those videos of them, flying illegals all over the United States without any ID.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah. So if it was really about security and safety, they wouldn't be doing stuff like that. I think it's just more means of control and revenue.
Yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes with the little manila folders, and the outside of the envelope it says, "Please help me get where I'm going. I don't speak English." So they lowered the bond on this Carmelo Anthony kid that stabbed the other boy at the track meet and killed him. It was $1 million. They lowered it to $250K. They've raised $500,000, $600,000 for him. So that means he'll be out on bond. I don't like this. I've heard everybody talking about this whole self-defense thing, or it was something said that was racist. Even if you say something racist, that's not, you don't plunge a knife into somebody's heart. That's not where that goes.
Yeah.
They try to compare it to Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse was literally, his life was in danger in that situation.
Yeah. I have probably an unpopular opinion on this one that a lot of your chats can be like, what? But this is what I think. Steve, what do you think about this before I share?
I don't know, because I don't know. I don't have all the I want to hear other people's story about what happened. There's no excuse for stabbing him in the heart first, but I do want to hear what transpired before the actual stabbing.
Yeah. So I'm with you, Steve, and that's kind of what I said. We have to remember, guys, that social media has ruined the human race. It just has. Yeah. Social media, the way we get our information out, it's completely ruined us. It's turned all of us, a lot of us, into sensationalists. I'm not talking just on the left. I'm talking on the right as well. Now, if you guys have heard Tim Pool's explanation on this, he's gone way in the defense of Carmelo Anthony. I'm not there. I want to see more information come out, but from the facts that have come out already about this, it seems to me there could have been better decisions made from Austin. And I was talking about this with my daughter. I was like, this is why you have to have conversations with your kids about how to react in different situations. Nothing is worth your life. Nothing is worth escalating. You want to teach your kids to de-escalate and only use physical, means if your safety or life is in danger. To me, based on the facts, I'm not saying this is I'm not defending Carmelo. I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is we need to have more facts come out. And from the facts from now, it seems like there was an altercation, and there may have been a thing where Carmelo Anthony thought that his life was in danger. We just got to wait for everything to come out and then make the decision. I'm not going to, you had a lot of conservative media out there, which drives me crazy. It almost makes me want to quit everything, where they immediately went to the race thing. And I do agree with them that if this was flipped around, I mean, the left media would be having a field day. It would be all over. There'd be riots. This would be the next George Floyd if the roles were reversed. 100% agree with that. And that's the unfortunate landscape of our media and our culture right now in this country, which is, it's sad. And we can thank the left for that, but we still have to be factual. We still have to stand on facts. We can't be like the left. We can't make this about like, oh, was it a race thing? The father of Austin Metcalf already said this had nothing to do with race. The father of the murdered boy said this is not a race thing, and please don't spread that narrative. That's the father of the boy that said that, who already forgave Carmelo Anthony, by the way. Powerful story of forgiveness, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I believe he's going to be convicted of murder. I believe he's going to go away for a long, long time. And I think there probably was, some testosterone posturing going on in that tent. Boys do things like that, and there might have been some confrontational stuff and all of those. But I think this is not. If he's out on this $250,000 bond, then they'll put him under house arrest at this point. So
yeah, no, he needs to stay locked up until everything comes out. I don't agree with this lowering the bond and everything. It's and people they raised $500K for him on GoFundMe already. I mean, those are people that are just already because he's black, he needs to be innocent. No.
Yeah, I agree, and I do want to hear it. I wouldn't, and I don't agree with Tim's extreme take on it, Tim Pool's deal. But I also see what Tim's saying, right? But pardon me.
Yeah, he already called this self-defense. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So any time they could have walked away, you're fighting over a tent, and somebody decides to pull out a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a report that came out, and again, that's why we have to wait, where they may have tried to grab Carmelo first, and he thought his life was in danger, and that's where I'm like, well, if that's the case, then still stabbing a guy in the heart is not a response. You pull away, you run, you do something. You don't stab a guy.
Yeah, it's extreme. I mean, it was an extreme reaction. I mean, where that's the boy's dead.
There's going to be some consequences that come with those extreme actions. So I think when it all shakes out, justice is going to.
It'd be nice if somebody had a video of it or something, on a cell phone or anything like that. You would think,
which is weird that we don't have that.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they've confiscated everything around there. Maybe they're holding it for evidence. I don't know. Not releasing it, which I don't particularly want to see it, but I would like for whoever's serving justice to be able to see it.
Yeah, I think at some point, if there is a video that if you go back to the roles were reversed, the video would already be out.
Yeah,
to try to help stop the riots.
Yeah,
I think the silver lining, and so we can move on, but the silver lining out of this was you guys got to go check out the clip of the dad saying he already forgives Carmelo, and it's like how you can't even fathom that level of forgiveness, and it inspired me because I'm like, I got people I need to still forgive in my life.
Listen, amazing. Like I said at the very beginning of the show, I mean, you build some positivity in your life, and one of those is releasing forgiveness. Now, this 100%. Is an extreme case right here. I mean, that is only by the grace of God that you can release that kind of forgiveness when somebody's,
I don't know about that. And maybe he has forgiven, but I don't even think I could say it if I did. You know what I mean? I would be like, no, there ain't no forgiving.
Right.
I'm okay with holding a grudge and being mad if that was my kid.
And you'd be justified in doing it.
I don't care.
Yeah, I understand that would be, but I'm just saying there's other things that are less tragic than this that people are holding on to. Like David's saying, we got things in our life that we got to. I mean, it was a pretty impressive statement for that dad to be able to say that. Now the mom came out and said no.
Good for her.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
So. And I don't know what's going on with these kids. So the FBI has announced that a 17-year-old was plotting to assassinate Donald Trump. That was thwarted. He murdered his parents, right?
Yeah, killed both of his parents. They sat in the house for 12 days, and I mean, literally sat in the house for 12 days. And he was this kid was going to use money to go and assassinate Trump. He was going to use his dad's money to go and assassinate Trump.
Is that the one that Trump said, I might be a whack job?
Yeah.
Just a whack job.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty wild, dude. So, but he killed both of his parents. Tragic deal. What's Bill got to say there?
Accused of killing his parents as part of a convoluted plot to then assassinate President Trump and overthrow the U.S. government. Garrett Tenney has more on this bizarre development story in Chicago. Garrett, hello.
Yeah, Bill, it really is wild. This 17-year-old apparently wanted to throw the country into chaos by assassinating President Donald Trump. And to do it, he was willing to kill his own parents. According to the FBI, Nikita Kasich killed both his mom and stepdad back in February to help him get the money and autonomy he needed to carry out his plan. When police arrested the teen, he had $14,000 on him, a gun, as well as a manifesto on his phone about killing the president, making bombs, and carrying out terrorist attacks. The FBI says the teen paid in part for a drone and explosives that he planned to use and which he had talked to others about online, including a man in Russia. Court documents state he later told classmate that he was in contact with a male in Russia via telegram, and they were planning to overthrow the government of the United States and assassinate Trump. Kasich told the classmate that when they saw 10 consecutive attacks in the news, it would have been him.
Damn.
Detectives also allegedly found messages indicating that the teen planned to leave the U.S. for Ukraine after carrying out the planned assassination. A search of the teen's phone allegedly turned up ties to a satanic cult that espouses white supremacist and neo-Nazi views. He is already facing a long list of charges, including murder and theft. Additional charges could be filed now as well. His next court hearing is May 7th.
We already know more about this kid than we do about the Butler kid.
There you go.
What is going on with these kids, man? I already know it. We all know what's going on.
Yeah, we know what's going on.
Yeah,
it's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Indoctrinated, and they're being indoctrinated in their schools, and then they get it cemented by social media, and then they get it cemented even more by college. This kid didn't even reach college before he started doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, so this is you can tie it to the satanic cult. You can do the neo-Nazi propaganda. There's no telling how much time this kid spent on the dark web, in front of a screen somewhere, just writing his manifestos and all kind of crazy stuff. No telling how many voices he heard in his head. But do that study on MK Ultra, man. I'm telling you, it's fascinating stuff. Hot Seat Todd with a hot take. Freaking white people, man. It's always these white people, and they usually got those white liberal moms. White liberal women are the worst, bro.
Yeah, one of the things, I have friends because I have an older daughter. For those of you that don't really know me, my life, I had a daughter. I was 18 years old. She's my only kid. Got full custody of her when she was 2 and been pretty much a single dad most of her life. She's 17 now. And I get friends that have kids, and they go, what is one thing that you can tell me as a kid, as a parent? I'm not a perfect parent by any stretch of the imagination, but I have learned a lot of things in 17 years. Yeah. And one of the things they say, how is your kid so respectful? How is your kid so this? And it's like when you're doing anything, it's practice. You prepare them, you practice, you have constant conversations about real world situations and about mistakes they make or whatever. I see so many parents, and it drives me nuts, Chad. When I go into restaurants today, you see parents sitting there and they're eating or they're talking, and what are their kids doing?
They're on the phone.
They're on the iPad. They're on the phone. Yep. Get your kids off of these things. Have real world conversations with them. Prepare them. I'm telling you.
And make them mind.
You do it constantly. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, make them mind and beat that ass.
Yeah, I mean, discipline your kids.
There's got to be some discipline in there. I mean, there's got to be some discipline, and that's and they're not. And you know what? The old adage, love is spelled Time. Parents don't spend. We've got screens that are raising our kids, and then whatever influence is out there. These kids have identity issues. I mean, my gosh, do you understand what this whole trans agenda and the whole sexual identity stuff? I mean, it's all about attacking identity. If you don't know who you are, you can be swayed by any popular voice. It basically becomes a cult, and you get brainwashed, and you start finding a sense of of not only identity but value and worth in some of these crazy ideas that are out there, and you take them on. I mean, you can look at this kid; he's got evil in his eyes, man. It's a demon looking at you right there. It's a demon looking at you.
Pump these kids full of hormones, and
they're on Adderall, they're on Ritalin, they're on every drug imaginable. They've been vaccinated to hell and back, and they ain't no telling what all stuff's crawling through their bloodstream. And people can throw me under the bus for saying all that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you, man, we've poisoned our kids.
Yeah, and you saw their house. Their house wasn't. He didn't come from the slums. He didn't come from the inner city. Their house was like probably $1 million house. It's not the parents that are failing kids across America, they're not parents from Chicago or inner city or Compton or any of these rough areas. They're your average families, average parents that are basically neglecting. They are leaving the world to raise our kids. They're leaving the public schools to raise our kids. And we're thinking that they all have our best interests. No, man, they're making monsters.
Yeah.
And
they're trying to be friends with their high school student or their, teenage child, and that's not the time to be their friend.
Yeah, but that's a good point, Steve, because you being a parent, I've told this to people a lot. I said one of the biggest things you're trying to do, you're trying to be your child's buddy. Don't be their buddy.
I see it all the time with these people having these kids, and they're doing everything they can to be their cool parent, be their friend. No, you're messing up.
Well, it's just like that girl. Just like that girl carrying that papoose with a baby in it going into Coachella. If you're a mother, you don't take your baby to Coachella. You don't take your baby to the stuff like that. It's not an accessory. I have these people who just who want to have babies because they think, well, it's just the age to do it. I better do it. I mean, you know what? You're bringing a human soul. You're bringing an eternal soul in here. You better take some responsibility of what it is, the decisions that you're making. But they're like, oh, I got to accessorize. I got to have my 2.5 children. And you hadn't sat down long enough to think about what your vision and passion and discipline and risk is going to be in bringing a child into the earth. Can you take care of this child? Can you, listen, I believe in propagating, baby. Be fruitful and multiply. That's a command God gave us. And he's never taken that one back. I do believe that. But man, we got kids having kids, and then we got irresponsible people with their kids, and they're letting a screen and a television and Hollywood and everything else, social media, train them and brainwash them, and they're learning to fight online. You got the cyberbullying and the back and forth and the trolling and the memes and all the crap is just poisoning their minds. My friend Tessa, dadgummit, Tessa, she's a parent therapist here in town. I had her on the show a while back. She wrote a book called Look Up, and it's talking about getting kids out, their faces out of those screens. And
that's lazy. That's just lazy ass parenting.
It is. Yeah.
It is, because that's the easy button. Just hand that to them; they'll be entertained for hours.
Well, Steve, you hit it about parenting with trying to be their friend. They do that because it's easier than being the bad guy. These parents take the easy way out. I just had a conversation with my kid the other day. She goes, "Why are you being so mean?" And it's not that I was being mean to her. It's that I was telling her no on a bunch of things. Yeah. And I said, I wanted you to understand something. My job as a parent is not to be your friend. It's exactly what you said, Steve. I said, my job is to set you up for success for when you become an adult and you have a family of your own. That is my job as your parent. I love you. We can have some fun times, but I'm not your friend.
Yeah, because the friend part of it does come back. It'll come back to you when they're 30, 100%. 25 and 30. I promise you. I have the closest relationship with my adult children, and we can be friends because Dad don't give advice anymore. That when they moved out, I don't give advice unless they say, hey, if they call and say, hey, Dad, what would you do in this situation? I do unsolicited advice. Nope, not going to happen. You go raise your family. If you need to ask for advice, I'll give it, but I don't give it unless asked.
Yeah,
100%.
And you're a good dad. And both of you guys are, and you know what, I am too. And my kids, my kids are grown now. We have a good relationship. We're able to communicate. We joke together. We have a lot of laughs. We plan our stuff, plan our time together, and we do all those things. And it's like, but my kids, they're well disciplined. I mean, they were well disciplined and not abusive. And every time I do Beat That Ass song, and tell those stories at the live shows, everybody claps. Everybody claps. And I was like, see, you didn't feel abused because you knew that somebody that loved you and cared enough was the one who disciplined you. And these days, people get any discipline or be told no, like to your point, David, and they're like, oh, that's extreme. Just hearing the word no. People they're offended by everything.
Yeah.
Just hearing the word no is extreme.
And the other problem too is these parents, they support their kids too much. I see parents where they go, I'm just going to love on my kid, and yeah, they're making bad decisions and they're picking bad colleges to go to, but I'm just going to love on them and support them. Some even will finance their bad decisions. I mean, there's probably tons of parents at Coachella that finance those kids being there.
Can't say no to them.
There is such thing as too much love, and you got to keep it real with your kids. You have to keep it real because everything you do as a parent is going to matter of who they are as an adult. Yeah. And when you're just loving them and letting them, it's no wonder they come back from these trips or from college as liberals, because you gave up as a parent and you surrendered them to the world.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to come under authority, you will be put under authority. So you look at this kid, guess what? They bring him in shackles. His life is now going to be determined by a justice department. He's under authority because he lived with no sense of authority. He murdered his parents. He was going to go out and try to assassinate the president. Well, you can live lawless for a while, but you will be placed under somebody's authority. It's best for your kids and grandkids to go ahead and learn that authority from somebody that loves them, because those guys hauling him in there, they don't love that kid. They don't love that kid. They're doing a job. But he's under their authority, and it is going to be a ruthless authority in his life. Same with this other situation we talked about, the Carmelo Anthony. Tessa Stuckey is my friend. That's the psychotherapist here in town. Look her up on Instagram, the Mom Therapist. The Mom Therapist. She's a mother of 4. She's a good friend, and I've had her on the show before, and she's written that book that's just phenomenal. But anyway, lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. Sign up on my Make Wellness team too. Come on, I get people all the time who are like, because we send out team texts to our people, and people are like, "This isn't really Chad Prather." And I'm like, "It's really Chad Prather." And then people start trying to test me to see if it's really me sending the text messages, and it's like, we're the ones sending out. We send out because I don't just people who sign up on my Make Wellness team. We get you in the Shout app. We send out a weekly email. I send you a video. I send you some coaching tips and some motivational things. All these deals, and I'm like, it's me. It's me. And people are like, okay, so, and it's like, it's funny. It's like, you guys have been scammed so many times with fake accounts that you're convinced that it's somebody scamming you.
Yeah.
But we're having fun with it, man.
We got a super chat.
Feeling better than ever. What do we got in that super chat? What do we got? Caddy Islander, my question is, the stabbing of the school grounds, why was a knife allowed on the grounds? Well, he snuck it in. He had it. The boy's reaction was way too overreacted. I mean, stabbing somebody in the heart's about as extreme as you can be, to have that level
they don't have TSA before, what do you mean? Why was it allowed on the grounds? I mean, I'm pretty sure
I mean, we had guns on a college campus. We weren't supposed to have those either, but
Caddy, I'm not trying to be a jerk, Caddy. I'm just having fun. Like, why was it allowed? Well, they don't have freaking, the FBI checking people.
Yeah, there's no.
Before they go to a track.
I can't tell you the last time I went in a school, but I'm assuming most, like, you don't walk through a metal detector. I've been to some high school football games. I didn't go through a metal detector.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. I guess some might have that, but I don't know. What else? Anybody else?
No, that's it.
That's it. Just the one. Tiffany, you're funny. Chad, is that really you on here? No, it's AI. But you gotta have. I mean, I've been in fights. Like as a kid, I've been in fights. I've been in fights as an adult. I beat the ever living piss out of a kid one time on a college campus because he put his hands on me after a football game, and this was back in my 20s. Yeah, he regretted that.
We had any kind of little scuffle when I was in school. We went to the gym and put on boxing gloves, and the coach stood around and let you box it out.
But it never escalated to the point where I thought about stabbing someone.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We did it, that one time I had a little incident, and I had put on some boxing gloves against this little guy. He was about a foot shorter than I was, and he knocked the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah. Walford says, talking about the real ID, try being a divorced female trying to get it. You need first marriage license, divorce paper, and if you're remarried, you need that license. I get it. It's a painful deal. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, you know, we should have it, or what's the big deal in getting it? I think if all that's true, and I see that, you know, I don't have my birth certificate if I have to go get it, you know. But again, Texas implemented that a long time ago. They've been talking about it since like 2008 of implementing Real ID. And so they just incorporated the Real ID part of into your driver's license. When you renewed your driver's license, that little star just showed up on there.
I got all my stuff, birth certificate, DD-214, all the IDs.
Of course you do.
There's a process for everything. Everything has a process.
You probably got it framed somewhere in that room you're sitting in.
There's people that are, some of the process stuff is not very hard. They just want to throw a fit over having, hey, this is what we have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, take that 15 minutes and go fill that out and do it. It's like doing taxes. When it's taxes tomorrow, how many people ain't done theirs yet?
Yeah.
Well, it's a process. Do your taxes.
I'm getting, no, dude. Don't do taxes.
Fill it out. Step on them toes.
Don't do taxes. I'm behind on mine. My
Hey,
CPA.
Party Foul, I just want to say I'm proud of you. Not only did you make your own set?
Yeah.
I mean, you come in here the first time on your own set. It looks good. I mean, you got staticky stuff, but you look good, man. The lighting, we got everything checked in. I mean, good job, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate
Steve built, that was his project the other day, man.
Yeah.
He was sending me little progress reports. I was like, dang, dude, that looks good.
Well, let's see the whole thing real quick. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Look at that. He got his Make Wellness back there. Got his challenge coins.
So, yeah, I got my challenge coins up here and my flags, and I don't know what else. Where do we got? Oh, little black Jesus right here.
Yeah, little black Jesus. We all got little black Jesus.
Black Jesus. I got a couple of them.
You just got to get the Decepticons out of your audio, and we'll be good.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Here on my flag.
Tomorrow night at 9 Central p.m. Tomorrow night, we're going to jump on Tony, Party Foul Steve, Todd, Maggie Moo. We'll see who else. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a funny. We're going to just play some reels. We're going to have some laughs tomorrow night. But we'll be back with Dear America in the morning. My show will be back tomorrow afternoon. And don't forget to join Hot Seat Todd today at 3. Check him out. All right? And I hope everybody's having a great Monday. Any final words? Party Foul.
Hey, at Party Foul Steve, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And Real ID, Striker J says American version of nationwide ID implemented by the Nazi Germany to control, have national ID to use public transportation to go to any public event is 10,000% bad. It's not great. I mean, when you're continually making you jump through more and more hoops, to identify yourself. It's sort of a punishment. All right, David, what you got, buddy?
Nothing, man. Hey, it's a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest, right outside of Portland, Oregon. It still is beautiful here. But if you guys are struggling, go read your Bible and go on a run. I promise you, will make you one of those. Even if you do one of those, it'll make you feel better. Thanks for having me on, Chad.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for producing the show. And thank you guys for joining us. Go to where podcasts are offered. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Go to watchchad.com. Make your plans to come see us. We're in Louisiana and Mississippi this week. So come on out to a show, man. Have some laughs. It'll be a good time. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Just trust that I am praying for every one of you. I do every day. I pray for you guys and ask God to bless you, and you are such a blessing to me, and I'm so thankful for you. So just take care of yourself. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. It's a crazy world we're living in, and let's go find somebody to encourage, okay? Go find somebody to encourage. That's your assignment this afternoon, and don't forget to check out Hot Seat Todd. Todd Spears, all right? I love you guys. God bless you. We will talk to you in the morning. Bye.